Dobar dan, moje ime je Dragan Čalović i velika mi je čast i naročito zadovoljstvo da vam se ovom prilikom obratim i poželim dobrodošlicu na prvu Link IT EdTech međunarodnu konferenciju u organizaciji Fakulteta savremenih umetnosti, Visoke škole strukovnih studija za informacione tehnologije i Instituta za moderno obrazovanje. Siguran sam da je većina vas imala prilike da sarađuje sa ove tri ustanove, članice šire mreže obrazovnih ustanova u okviru Link Edu alijanse i da je naše zajedničko učešće u radu konferencije zapravo nastavak i produbljenje započete saradnje u domenu naučno-istraživačkog rada i oblasti obrazovanja. Radujemo se da su neki od vas danas prvi put sa nama i da ćemo imati prilike da se upoznamo i unapredimo mogućnosti dalje saradnje. Posebno mi je zadovoljstvo da istaknem da ćemo tokom konferencije imati prilike da čujemo prezentacije i radove ispred 50 izlagača iz 6, a kako čujem danas i više zemalja, u okviru dvodnevne konferencije. Danas će biti glavne sesije, sutradan je prateća konferencija koja je posvećena studentskim istraživanjima, gde imamo opet 15 radova, opet učesnika iz različitih zemalja i takođe bih naglasio da je i programski i organizacioni odbor konferencije takođe sačinjen od istaknutih naučnika, profesora iz nekoliko evropskih zemalja. Sledeći misiju širenja znanja i stalnog unapređenja obrazovnog procesa, ali i podstaknut svojom posvećenošću unapređenju naučne misli i razvoju naučno-istraživačkih kadrova, Fakultet savremenih umetnosti, Visoka škola strukovnih studija za informacione tehnologije i Institut za moderno obrazovanje udružili su se kako bi pokrenuli zajedničku konferenciju posvećenu novim tehnologijama, pristupima u obrazovanju i savremenim tendencijama u umetnosti i nauci. Distinguished colleagues, it is a great honor and my extraordinary pleasure to take this opportunity to welcome you to the first Link IT and EdTech International Conference organized by the Faculty of Contemporary Arts, the College of Vocational Studies for Information Technologies, and the Institute for Modern Education. Following the mission of expanding knowledge and constantly improving the educational process, but also encouraging by its commitment to the advancement of scientific thought and the development of young scholars, the Faculty of Contemporary Arts, the College of Vocational Studies for Information Technology, and the Institute for Modern Education came together to launch a joint conference dedicated to new technologies, approaches in education, and contemporary trends in art and science. Vreme u kojem živimo obeleženo je radikalnim izmenama društva kakvo poznajemo, a jedan od centralnih nosilaca ovih promena upravo predstavlja razvoj informacionih tehnologija i novi načini njihovih upotreba. Jedan od zadataka koji smo prepoznali u stalnom unapređenju obrazovnog procesa upravo jeste promišljanje mogućnosti, načina i puteva upotrebe informacionih tehnologija i novih digitalnih alata u obrazovnom procesu. U tom cilju organizatori konferencije predložili su sledeće teme kojima će diskusije tokom današnjeg i sutrašnjeg dana biti posvećene, no ostavljajući autorima mogućnost i njihovog proširenja. Reč je o temama primena informacionih tehnologija u različitim industrijama, upotreba robota u obrazovanju, bezbednost u IT-u, zaštita podataka i mreža, razvoj i programiranje aplikacija, mašinsko učenje i veštačka inteligencija, zatim upotreba pametnih uređaja, blockchain i kriptovalute, IT karijere i razvoj kompetencija, daroviti učenici, upotreba informacionih tehnologija u obrazovanju i nastavi, IT inovacije i njihov uticaj na društvo, ekonomiju i obrazovanje, preduzetništvo u oblasti informacionih tehnologija, zatim digitalna multimedija, prednosti i nedostaci različitih operativnih sistema, big data, softverski inženjering, digitalni marketing i mediji, pravni aspekti i zaštita podataka, primjena veštačke inteligencije za automatizaciju procesa u obrazovnim ustanovama, pedagoški aspekti primjene robotike u obrazovanju, primjena EdTech alata u nastavi humanističkih i umetničkih predmeta, kao i umetnost i primjena informacionih tehnologija. One of the tasks that we have recognized in the constant improvement of educational process in critical reflection on possibilities and ways of using information technologies and new digital tools in the educational process. As Manuel Castells says in his paper, Introduction to Information Technology, Globalization and Social Development, information technology is not the cause of the changes we are living through, but without new information and communication technologies, none of what is changing our lives would be possible. Technology per se does not solve the social problems, but the availability and use of information and communication technologies are a prerequisite for economic and social development in our world. They are the functional equivalent of electricity in the industrial era. Econometric studies shows the close statistical relationship between diffusion of information technology, productivity, and competitiveness for countries, regions, industries, and firms. They also shows that an adequate level of education in general and of technical education in particular is essential for the design and productive use of new technologies. But neither the sheer number of scientists and engineers nor the acquisition of advanced technology can be a factor of development by itself without an appropriate organizational environment. In order to develop the society, it is necessary to look at our schools and education and see if our education is progressing in step with the world that is changing and developing quickly. Our task is to open new opportunities for the students and to prepare them for the future to come. Before I give the floor to my respected colleague, Professor Maja Ivovic from the Institute of Modern Education, I would like to wish all participants of the conference a successful work. Thank you.
Thank you. Dobar dan, ja sam Maja Ivović, dolazim ispred Instituta za moderno obrazovanje. Želim da vas pozdravim i da vam kažem da mi je izuzetna čast da mogu danas da učestvujem na ovoj našoj prvoj Link IT and EdTech internacionalnoj konferenciji. Welcome to the Link IT EdTech International Conference. Prvo par reči o našoj kompaniji Link Group. Link Group is a multinational company with over 20 years of experience in education industry, specifically in offering courses and certification in IT and modern business. We advanced our mission of helping people to become more successful in the areas of professional development, high school and higher education. Link Grupa je vodeća multinacionalna kompanija koja se više od 20 godina uspešno bavi profesionalnom edukacijom i sertifikacijom u oblasti informacionih tehnologija i savremenog poslovanja. Uspešno posluje na teritoriji Srbije, Bosne i Hercegovine, Rumunije, Ukrajine, Republike Moldavije i Sjedinjenih Američkih Država. A putem učenja na daljinu okuplja polaznike čak iz 120 različitih zemalja sveta. Education has befallen into a global crisis because out-of-date methods, principles, and methods of education from the industrial age are still used in education process. Technologies are applied to an inefficient extent. Diplomats are elevated in the importance above relevant knowledge and the basic rule of education incompletely forgotten. Tako da možemo reći da Link grupa se bavi i unapređenjem modernog obrazovanja na viši nivou, znači osnovno obrazovanje, srednje obrazovanje i visoko obrazovanje i sticanje raznih kurseva. Sada želim da vam predstavim našeg robota koji je takođe jedan dokaz i činjenica da radimo na modernizaciji obrazovanja i to je u stvari humanoidni robot, nešto više o Pepperu. Pepper spaja digitalni svet i stvaran svet kao nikada ranije. Isto sjajne iskustva koje imamo virtualno sada možemo da doživimo i osetimo u realnosti. Pepper može da daje personalizovane preporuke, pomaže ljudima da pronađu tačno ono što traži, može da komunicira podjednako dobro sa jednom osobom ili sa više osoba istovremeno. Pepper robot is a humanoid robot that has the ability to recognize emotion, which is based on the detection and analysis of facial expressions and voice tones, using artificial intelligence. Pepper's role is to connect with people, help them, and share knowledge with them. It is friendly, unique experience with it, and it was created to bring it up your every day. Pepper, možemo reći do sada po nekom dosadašnjem iskustvu, on je trenutno asistent nastavnik u jednoj od naših ustanova i trenutno naučno istraživanje pokazuje da se jako lepo pokazao do sada u radu na njegovoj novoj ulozi, a to je asistent nastavnik. Takođe, mi imamo naš tim koji se bavi razvojem primjene robotike u obrazovanju. Naš tim se zove Link Edu Robot Team. Tim čine stručnjaci iz oblasti informacionih tehnologija, obrazovanja i pedagogije, ali i učenici i studenti koji su isto tako važni zato što nam donose povratne informacije i učestvuju u samom razvoju našeg softvera, što znači da mi radimo na razvoju softvera za primjenu Peppera robota u obrazovanju, ali i ostalih robota. I samim tim hoću da napomenem da taj naš tim, Link Edu Robot Team, pored toga što sam vam napomenula ko su sve naši učesnici u tom timu, njihov glavni cilj jeste da implementacijom robota u obrazovanju, kao i temama raznoraznim kojim se bavimo programiranjem, programiramo edukativne aplikacije i alate za modernizovanje nastave i Link Edu Team robot trenutno radi na projektima Pepper IE Project and Become a VR Pro. To su neki prvi od projekata u nizu, imamo već plan za narednu godinu i ja bih voljela kao koordinator tog Link Edu robot tima da predstavim neke od naših članova tima koji uspešno rade na razvoju našeg softvera. Ako možete samo da izađete, da pozdravimo i posle toga da otvorimo konferenciju zvanično. Hvala. To su naša direktorka Milena Ilić, kolega Budinkić, koleginica Jelena Pejanović i koleginica Dragana. Imamo još članova tima, ali evo, htjela sam ovom prilikom da mi se zahvalim na učešću i dosadašnjem radu i nadam se da ćemo još mnogo projekata zajedno da ostvarimo. I sada želim da vam pokažem samo Peppera i da vam poželim dobrodošlicu i da zvanično otvori ovu našu konferenciju.
Welcome to the first Link IT and EdTech International Conference. I am a robot, Pepper, assistant teacher, employed at the Link Group Primary School, Savannah. I am glad that you are here with us today. I wish everyone a pleasant conference. Today we have excellent topics and more colorful works. Congratulations to everyone. I am officially opening the conference. Let's start.
Ja se zahvaljujem svim govornicima i koleginici kao i uvaženom Pepperu na otvaranju konferencije. I prema programu koji ste imali prilike da vidite, a koji obuhvata 5 radnih sesija u toku današnjeg dana, pozivam vas da ostanete tokom čitavog skupa, a također vas pozivam i da se sutra pridružite, odnosno pratite izlaganja naših studenata. Prema programu, plenarna sesija je planirana sa početkom odmah nakon otvaranja, tako da ćemo krenuti sa radnim delom programa. Naš prvi govornik je profesor Aleksandar Šević, koji će nam predstaviti svoj rad The Use of NLP in Cryptocurrency Markets. Profesore, izvolite.
Hvala, pre svega, zahvalim organizatorima na pozivu, a naročito profesor Kilić koja mi je dozvolila da prezentujem u plenarnoj sesiji. Pretpostavljam imamo internacionalne goste koji ne govore srpski, nakon ovog uvoda preći ću na engleski jezik. Pozdrav iz sunčanog Dublina, to je nešto što je krajnje neobično, zato što u ovoj zemlji imaju 11 nivoa za kišu, 11 naziva i nivoa. Znači od nečega da je kao soft day, a sve do hamlin, znači bukvalno kao da padaju čekići. Tako da, eto, uz ovako neobičnu postavku govorit sam danas o NLP-u i uticaju u kriptokrensi i tržištima. Drago mi je da sam vidio da neke od kolega se takođe bave razvojem i upotrebom veštačke inteligencije u finansijskoj industriji, a vidjet ćemo i zašto je to toliko važno. Upravo pokušat ću to da ovom prezentacijom i objasnim. Now I would like to switch to English, if you don't mind. So just to share the screen. Please let me know if you have any issues with viewing the screen at any point in time. So, why we have this discussion? Well, cryptocurrencies are here to stay. We understand that a decade ago used to be a novelty, but now they have a technology that could definitely change and revolutionize the world, the one we live in. But I would like to refer on something that I've done in the sentiment area. Basically, because we have a plenary session, we should refer to our previous work. But also we can talk about something which is beyond that, and definitely with ChatGPT and other similar products, we're entering the territory where it's much more important to think ahead and see how Pepper and similar robots in the future, when they become truly generative, could replace quite a lot of things that we do. And we can see that it's also a danger of really replacing us, replacing in totality. So then I'll just have a brief reference to finance industry and see what kind of trends we have there, and finally concluding remarks. Well, the reason why I'm interested in cryptocurrencies is that, just like everything else in the area of research, you try to find the gap, right? That's one of the first things where you can contribute in some kind of novel research. But at the same time, it's an interesting area to explore. And we can see why. I mean, it's something that could potentially replace the type of fiat money that we currently have. So when we refer to euros, dollars, etc., they can become truly digital. But when we say digital, it's not just paying by using your card. It simply means a specific E-type of currency. And that's quite different from just having a digitalized classical currency. And then we can see that quite a lot of things reappeared in cryptocurrency markets that were mirroring the trends in the real world. So initial coin offerings, quite similar to the name of initial public offering, which is quite well established in stock markets. But we can see that those initial attempts were pretty much quite clumsy because quite a lot of fraud was involved, and at one point in time, regulators had to step in because they simply realized it was becoming a wild, wild west. And that didn't last long. Already in 2018, we had a significant downturn. And then we entered what's called the cryptocurrency winter. It lasted until the summer of 2020. So you see it coincided with COVID-19, people having more time at home and browsing the internet. And then an interesting idea reappeared where basically you can do all kinds of things than traditional banking would do. You can trade, lend, borrow, even insurance companies could be tapped into this kind of world. And that's how we ended up with decentralized finance. So that's where we have quite a lot of players with brilliant ideas, no matter how small and incremental, but still quite great in terms of improving the efficiency of the system. And then when we're talking about the regular markets, like exchange markets, you can then refer even to security token offering, where a token is specifically linked to a specific asset. So if you want to issue shares, well, you're more welcome to do that. If you want to issue debt, you're more welcome to do that. And that will be linked to a specific token. And it goes without saying, now it's regulated. And it seems that the moment we have regulation, we have less actors who are prone to execute fraud. And that simply means that it's safe for investors to move in. And finally, we have something which is called the initial exchange offering, where we have token sales similar to ICOs before, but again, in this case, we have the intermediaries because we have established cryptocurrency exchanges. So what's the underlying technology? It's a blockchain. And whether it's permissionless, that simply means everybody can access or just a specific group of people. That simply means that we have a technology that definitely revolutionized the world. Now, why I decided to talk about NLPs? Because that's one of the easiest things and most meaningful things that you can apply in finance. Because financial data is one of the most complex, believe it or not, simply because humans are involved. And we became not only rational, but also irrational agents. And everybody knows that we sometimes stray out of fear and sometimes stray out of greed. And that simply means that whenever you take a look at the data, the probability of finding a strong signal out there with respect to everything else, which is noise, may be quite low. And that's quite different from, let's say, medical sciences, where you know exactly how the human body should function. And when you have some of those indicators, you can understand that you have a high signal to noise, and then you can have good diagnostic approach. Another problem is that a lot of data is created. So in 2023, it's 120 zettabytes, which means like 10 to the power of 21. In the modified version that Europeans use is like a trilliard, something that's a trillion. So we're not using here the American expression because anyway, they have really different ones. But it's a large number. That simply means that we're creating so much data, and because it's costly then to take a look at them in a meaningful way, only a fraction is used. Several years ago, we were lucky if 0.5% relevant data can be taken into account and analyzed for any decision-making process. What else do we see? We have 4 V's. Lots of volume, quite speedy in terms of applying that kind of knowledge and applying the data, responding to data. Variety, we receive written messages, we take a look at videos, we take a look at audios, and we take a look at all kinds of social platforms that are providing the data, so quite a lot of variety. And then, of course, we have to confirm now in this fake world with fake news, which one is providing you some kind of high level of veracity that you can apply in the research or decision-making process. And when we go to machine learning, we'll see that this level of veracity would be affected. So with my colleagues, I was doing some of that type of research, taking a look at specific platforms like Twitter, and then calculating the sentiment. Sentiment is basically showing you whether something's positive, negative, and neutral, and then based on the prevalence of those, you decide which one is more appropriate for your decision-making process. And then, of course, how it has an impact either on return or volatility, because in finance, you'll see sometimes return may not be that predictable, but volatility is. Because in low volatility, you make money. In high volatility, usually people make a very hasty decision because the fear then kicks in and becomes quite difficult to make decisions. And of course, if we take a look at influencers, their level of activity across social networks, etc., and we take a look at social metrics, not only sentiment per se. So these are some of the papers I was covering with my colleagues. Other colleagues in my university, for instance, took a look at sentiment, but in a different way. They added some words for uncertainty, like fear, etc., but also attention. just how many times they would be paying attention to specific words. And then they came up with all kinds of indices. Some of them are related to central bank digital, so e-currency, what kind of interest is out there in the world. Then the environmental impact, people concerned about the blockchain technology using up so much energy that is becoming ridiculous because we have just a single currency that spends as much electricity as one mid-sized country. And that's really worrisome. So different ways like proof of stake instead of proof of work is used by quite a lot of cryptocurrency providers. And then non-fungible tokens, until recently was really a big hype about it. But just like everything else, now we move a bit to maybe AI and different things, simply because that's a new gadget and that's a new advancement out there. Just recently this morning and yesterday, NVIDIA could, as a chip maker, and one of the best positioned to exploit this AI push by ChatGPT, is getting closer to 1 trillion valuation just to join that big club of Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, and Saudi Aramco in the US. So quite impressive what one single application like ChatGPT with its appearance last November could do. Now, when we use some of those things in sentiment, we take a look at dictionary, but the problem with the lexical approach is that it's quite simple. It picks up words and then it's assumed that it's negative or positive. But Vader is the next step in that lexical way of thinking because they have from -4 to +4, the level of being positive and negative. And then we use a system where basically we can average it out and get from -1 to 1 the sentences in a sense whether it's positive or negative. Why is it important? Because now with the advancement, we can use some of those products for training machine learning. Because when we train the system, we have to validate the results and then apply it in the system afterwards in the real world. But the problem is machines can self-learn or we can actually support them in their learning. So we have that deep learning system. And in finance, it's a bit tricky because if you trade on deep learning and not knowing how to explain what's going on, something goes wrong because the machine is telling you to do so, well, some serious liabilities may be there. So still they believe that if machine is supervised by humans, it's more effective. If you take a look at some of the presentations by AI experts in the financial area, that's exactly what they will do because they will show you that they beat BART, they beat some of those great products out there in the world simply because they supervise the learning of their machines. Why they're better than whatever we do in statistical models is because they're having more of those interaction terms and nonlinearity in there, so they're more complex. They seem to fit the real world better. Now the problem is if you overfit, basically you try to make the system as perfect as you can on the current data set, it may not be good for the upcoming period. So overfitting is a problem. Look ahead is always a problem in finance and more in accountancy because you apply the end of quarter data, but the data may be reported a month afterwards. And that's when exactly it had an impact on the market. But you assume that it had an impact when it was supposed to cover the period, let's say on the 31st of December. Data leakage, you have to make sure that you have a gap between the time periods that you explore, because if you use similar data because of the overlapping days, and basically your outcome may be affected. And one big problem in anything societal is that you apply something on the current set that you see right now, but when you apply in the real world, you realize that some of those observations are missing because simply the world is a different place now, or there's a shock to the system, because we know that financial world is very volatile simply because there could be a war, there could be a big disruption, there could be like weather patterns that severely affect some products, let's say commodities. And that's something which is very difficult to put in a model. And then regulation must be there. Definitely something that we need and something that could provide us with a further guideline what to do next. Just 2 days ago, the OpenAI standing behind ChatGPT says that if Europeans push ahead with a very aggressive AI regulation, they may consider actually pulling out of European market next year. So you can see how serious it is, because even if you browse the net or now you have those doomsday people talking about regulation, the impact they could have, lack of regulation, the AI, the impact it could have on humanity. And it's really becoming an issue because the moment we get to generative AI that could replace quite a lot of jobs, well, then we have to ask ourselves how good we are in terms of the effect that we can have in our society, and whether we just become second ranked and then we simply have to let the stage to be taken by AI, and then we have to completely rethink our roles in society per se. Even if you want to play with ChatGPT and you ask him, are you Skynet? Do you want to destroy the mankind? Well, anyway, it's for free, so you can play with it. You will see that they have a very cryptic answer. Engineers are helping me out, etc., to be at. Sorry, I can't. Is this a question? I can't hear it.
Sorry, Professor. We had another participant. So please.
No, it's okay. So I can continue, right? Okay, thank you. So what I'm trying to say is that we have to simply realize that when we rethink our position, you can see that with this AI push for less than a year, the financial industry is already thinking very aggressively. So if you want to work in finance, you need IT skills. So that's something that ITS could actually sell. You know, even if you want to work in business industry, this is your first step. And then basically, well, afterwards, if you want to go for maybe some additional finance, MSc somewhere else, that's good. Or, as I said, you can just be an AI expert in the financial industry and they will be more than happy to have you. So the big problem, just to reiterate what we covered here, aware of time limit. So basically cryptos are there to stay and they have technology which is quite powerful. How much it will be applied depends on how useful it is, how profitable it is, but also depends on the benevolence of politicians, because it could make the system much more democratic and everything much more effective. But obviously, for a state of very vested interest by powerful persons, we may not see that push quite strongly, but definitely we can have a much more democratic and much more meaningful society to deal with in the future, just based on the blockchain technology. Dictionary-based approaches are the simplest ones, and that's the one I was involved in. ML obviously involves a bit of a training of the machine, and also a meticulous approach how to train the machine, not to make those mistakes that I was referring to. And definitely the MLs are providing superior results, at least in finance. I don't know about other areas, so that's why I have to put that fence and say I cannot claim for the others. Large data sets created every day, but just because of this information glut, we have to figure out what data is relevant to how we can take advantage of it. It's impossible to stop the advancement, and we can see that EU, with this new regulation for the next year, is already spooking some actors, major actors in the market, who may be staying from the European market, but obviously they will be negotiating and trying to resolve those differences. But there must be a regulation there, because we're definitely opening up the road for something that could replace us within 10 years. And then in the future, if we really have something that, even nowadays, when we take a ChatGPT and they realize that the human beings are destroying the nature and polluting everything, etc., you can imagine what's the logical conclusion for somebody who uses, who scans the net and gets all kinds of information, including all the biases and mistakes that humans make. So something that we've seen in sci-fi movies until recently, maybe just the future is just around the corner. That's why I'm saying that we have this uncertain future, but hopefully if we start early and we regulate early, there would be a chance for really a great future ahead of us. Thank you. For any questions, I don't know how it worked at the end.
Thank you, Professor. I would like to open a short discussion after all participants, if you don't mind, if you will stay with us. Oh, great. Okay, thank you very much. And our next speaker is Professor Roxana Bucea Maneatonis. The title of her paper is Artificial Intelligence in Physical Education and Sports. So, Professor?
Yes.
Great.
Nice to meet you. It's Roxana Mandanish. I'm from National Education and Sports. I also have a very background as and I'm trying to link two different fields, physical education and economics. And I think it's a very interesting way of doing great things. My paper today is about innovation, but first of all, I want to tell you that this paper is written with the support of an Erasmus program. This program is called Facilitate Artificial Intelligence. It is a program dedicated to school students of grades 7 to 12 years. The project number is CY001KA220 SC hash 0003257. Thank you for letting me give you this information because it's very important for our project. So we are thinking today I'm intending today to speak about artificial intelligence in physical education and sports. To give some examples, artificial intelligence has changed how we watch and analyze sports during the past 20 years. Among its many other benefits, artificial intelligence increasingly being used in sports for track athletes' performance, enhance experience, improve the gaming experience, sport training, esports, and innovation should become a mindset driver to the business in business growth in physical education and sports. Here we have a video on. Just a moment, I hope I will be able to start it. It seems it's not going to start, but I would like to show you how physical education and sports is ready to help us. In this video clip, some kids are playing with some IT dispositives. But anyway, innovation in physical education and sports creates more efficient and less expensive. Just a moment. I will try to start the video in here. No, it's not working in here too. I don't know what happened. Anyway, it would be nice to see them how they play in using artificial intelligence, in fact, because they are fighting with box, ball, and the sensors tell them which box need to hit. So we have to create more efficient, less expensive process, methodologies, training, techniques in terms of time, money, in order to achieve sport performance. This way we enter into the Guinness Book of Records. Through innovation, we can create innovative products dedicated to athletes and or funds maybe, which support performance of athletes and stimulates the feeling of belonging. So artificial intelligence also is good for identification and enthusiasm of fans' innovative idea to increase the numbers of fans. Artificial intelligence can be used for increasing brand awareness and for obtaining funds to market research in short marketing for translating action that will provide value for which customer will pay or become more loyal. All this can be translated into cost savings. For example, artificial intelligence main fields are analytics and feedback, recovery, injury management, umpiring specialist coaching, talent certification and talent selection, training and coaching, strategic and tactical management planning, team selection. Just a moment, I want to move to the next slide. Innovation in physical education and sports has four main areas of development. Could be architectural innovation. This means that we use existing technology on a new market. Could be a radical innovation, new technology on new market, incremental innovation, existing technology, existing marketing, disruptive innovation, new technology, existing market. For example, for architectural technology, architectural innovation, it is based on creation of revolutionary technology to solve needs that have not previously been met and may even involve the creation of new markets or industries. I'm talking now about radical innovation. You may see in the right corner a mirror. A mirror is a company that has launched an interactive mirror that works like a webcam, so coaches can conduct personal training session without going to person's home sport club. Talking about the existing technology, existing marketing, meaning incremental innovation, it optimizes current technology to increase value for customer by adding features, correcting errors, design changes, etc. We'll see here the Nike Adidas. It is the most common form of innovation that each company applies in one form of another, and less interesting from a form of innovation, although it can be crucial for survival of the firm. So it's important too. We also have here the Nike shoes possibility application that let us design our shoes, choosing the color, choosing the raw material, and anything we want, the design of the shoes, everything we want to do. If we talk about some disruptive innovation, at the beginning the new technology will be inferior to existing technology. Thus, initially the product could be more expensive with fewer facilities and will require improvements, more research and development before they can compete with existing products. But once they win a market niche, non-innovative companies can no longer catch up with the innovative one. So it's important. For example, in Belgium, gym fitness chain, we may see in the right corner, is a very known blockchain, in fact, talking about Professor what the professor told about us before. They launched a mobile application for fitness. Which is the challenge? The challenge is to have many customers buy a subscription, but they almost can't use it because they don't have time, they don't reach to the gym and so on and so forth. So the solution was to develop this mobile application which allows customers to access the lesson of the live video club and to access tips during the session and full training session right from home. Let's move next. Here I also have some videos, but I imagine that, just a moment, that my presentation isn't working because of, I just want to stop this page because it might interfere with my presentation, I imagine. I'm not sure why. You cannot, because when I use it on my computer, it's working very well. But here online, it seems that I don't have any link in here. I don't know what happened. Anyway, talking about artificial intelligence in sports, we may see here that from football to chess, artificial intelligence is being used in sports to develop tactics, teach athletics, sell, forecast, promote health, and much more. The athletic industry has been using data statistical analysis since the dawn of the time, due to the fact that sport currently measure everything that can be measured. They offer a rich environment for the application of artificial intelligence, and we gain big data sources. AI and sensor techniques can help games improve their skills. The use of artificial intelligence in sport training is boosting the efficiency of each sport for each person by creating customized training plans for athletes and providing real-time feedback. Hereby we have also a kiosk application. This connection kiosk use artificial intelligence for forecasting and may be applied to sport to improve performance and well-being. Users of wearable technology can learn about the strain exerted on athletes, which helps to maintain their health. Artificial intelligence can identify patterns in tactics, in strategies, can identify weaknesses during games, and thus NBA Connection Kiosk uses artificial intelligence to assess player health information and notify team of injuries as well as setbacks. The other application that I am talking about is a cross-caddy for golf. Here artificial intelligence is used in analytics. Millions of dollars are spent trying to find talent in the world of sports. Organizations' owners, therefore, consequently want to be sure that their decision regarding scouting a certain athlete is the appropriate one. In cricket, football, and basketball, among other sports, player scouting frequently makes use of artificial intelligence. So, artificial intelligence sport analytics do a better job of capturing these crucial aspects and weaknesses of the athlete. For instance, next technology measure basketball players' skill levels via computer vision and machine learning. This is an example. It was also a video clip that shows how artificial intelligence measure this impact. The essential performance indicator, ball dealing with releasing time, vertical leap, speed progress over time, as well as shot accuracy, are all calculated by artificial intelligence. Similar to this, artificial intelligence is used to determine where tennis shots should be placed. On the other hand, cricket bats with sensors are employed to measure the velocity of the ball, the location of the hit, and the twist at impact. All of this information is captured, analyzed, and quickly made available. it is acceptable to say that sports applications employ artificial intelligence as reliable source of knowledge. Artificial intelligence is also used in forecasting and in fun engagement. For example, in forecasting with the appropriate data collection and method for selection sport, it's possible to predict the result of a sporting game with excellent precision, even greater than the professional in the field. This is strange, but it's true. These methods maybe also assist betting firms in making money by using science of their side. This is also strange too. The submitted data will serve as the cornerstone for later research to create a soccer game forecasting model. The use of artificial neural networks approaches improve artificial intelligence in athletics. Additionally, a highly accurate model will be made using this technique. Artificial intelligence is also used in journalism, as Professor told before. ChatGPT it is used in author can write narrative in simple sentences which include data and statistics by using ChatGPT or program like Wordsmith. Reporters will eventually be enabled to reach a larger audience and cover more games as a result of analytical artificial intelligence. The only sports wherein robotic journalism is used is minor league basketball, but it demonstrates how beneficial it could be for all sports. Of course, we have also the dark side of technology, always. The drawbacks of artificial intelligence are cost and layoff. The cost of artificial intelligence and the cost of maintaining and repairing an artificial intelligence machine in athletics is very, very high. Instead of requiring scouts go and study certain players, frequently through games to determine their key strengths and shortcomings, it has become simpler to learn about players' skills, boundaries, and how they integrate in the team while watching them play. The decrease in their workload has resulted in the elimination of scouts. So please join us in our sports training. I also would like to thank you for the help provided by my Erasmus project, and thank you for listening. If anybody has any question, I would love to answer.
Thank you, Professor. I would rather open a discussion after all sessions. So our next presentation is titled Digital Innovation and Sustainable Development of Organization, a Comprehensive Study. Authors are Professor Valentin Kuleto, Professor Dusan Stojakovic, and Professor Marko Vulic. And I will give a word to our Professor Dusan Stojakovic.
Thank you so much. Just to share the presentation. Do you see it on the screen?
Yes, everything is okay.
Okay. So just 1 second, please, to start it. Just overcome some technical issues. So I hope my presentation is in a full screen now, and if you could guide me in case of some problem, I would highly appreciate it. First of all, I would like to congratulate the well-respected organizers of this amazing conference, especially in IT and EdTech Journal. And I would like to congratulate to my colleagues, professors that held presentations before my presentation, Professor Alexander and Professor Oksana, and also to apologize to Professor Alexander for making some noise since I had some technical issues with connecting today. I'm very sorry that I'm not able to join in person since I'm not in Serbia at the moment, so I dial in from Germany. So, in the name of my well-respected colleagues, Kuleto and Gulic, I will shortly guide you through one very interesting topic nowadays, which combines digital innovation and sustainable development. So, let's see what was the research and comprehensive study about and what were our findings. So, digitalization nowadays is a driving force, and it is not a brainer. So, digital innovation has become driving force in the modern era, and it has two main ways, reshaping the way that organizations or companies function today, and at the same time creating opportunities for sustainable development. But we need to be careful with this because there is a lot of potential challenges, a lot of potential issues, risks, but also a lot of benefits. The current study explored the relationship between these two phenomena, digital innovation from one side and sustainable development from the other side, also including organizations, and examining the potential benefits and challenges associated with integrating these technologies. So when we come from the standing point to understand the research problem, we have three main pillars. Digitalization as a phenomena, technological transformation initiated both internally and externally. Sustainable development on the other side, which is affected mostly by external factors of impact, especially some reporting requirements, some standards, some EU regulations, etc., but driven externally. Then interconnection of these two, we need to understand the relationship of the digitalization and sustainable development through challenges and benefits of their implementation. And this is a huge topic, but we try just to give one portion of it, which was interesting for us. Digital innovation is an essential aspect of today's business landscapes. And believe it or not, some key decision makers and stakeholders still do not understand that digitalization is at the same time a key driver of sustainable and ESG development. So companies are adopting various digital technologies to improve, at the first place, their operational efficiency, then customer experience. This is also required from external, and its overall performance. Also, the concept of sustainability has gained increased attention, while companies try to minimize ecological footprint and footprint in general, dealing with ESG, environmental, social, and governance, then to enhance social equality and ensure long-term economic growth. So this is very well interconnected. This study seeks to explore the nexus between these two phenomena, so digitalization and sustainability, elucidating the potential benefits and challenges associated with integrating digital technologies into organizational processes in everyday operations. So the method used for this study was introduction, methods, results, and discussion model. So a mixed method approach was employed to conduct this research, combining both quantitative and qualitative data collection and analysis. The quantitative phase consisted of a cross-sectional survey targeting a diverse range of organizations. 250 organizations were selected and engaged into this process from different industries and sizes. It was also important to see different contexts of business. And it was followed by the qualitative one, and it was the phase involved conducting in-depth interviews with key stakeholders, which included 25 selected organizations, which is at 10% of the above-mentioned overall target group. It was including executives, managers, and employees directly involved in the implementation of digital innovation initiatives and sustainable development practices. What were the results? Digital technologies for sure could contribute to organizational sustainability. The survey results indicated a positive correlation between the extent of digital innovation, adaptation, and the level of commitment to sustainable development. It is not only after the requirements for the reporting, but also after trying to ensure market positions in different markets, and we know that we now have global markets, so it is even harder to keep the pace with the competition. So organizations that reported a higher degree of digital innovation were more likely to have implemented sustainability initiatives, such as energy conservation, waste reduction, and social responsibility programs that include CSR. Moreover, the survey revealed that the perceived benefits of digital innovation include improved operational efficiency, reduced environmental impact, and enhanced customer experience. This is also important from the perspective of the upcoming requirements for more than 50,000 companies only in the EU, covered by the EU taxonomy and CSRD reporting regulations. Some of the key findings, just to focus on the three pillars, we found out that streamlining processes and reducing resource consumption through automatization and advanced data analytics, this is important to state out, then facilitating remote work, which came out to become almost a trend after the COVID time, and reducing the need for physical office spaces, thereby minimizing the organization's carbon footprint. Also talking about this, if we switch off our cameras on calls like this, we have less CO2 emissions. Then last but not least, enabling more effective monitoring and management of environmental and social performance, promoting transparency and accountability. And talking about this, our discussion would include understanding the balance between these two phenomena that needs to go hand in hand like two different lines of one very modern highway. So, digital innovation holds significant promise for promoting sustainable development in organizations. The benefits of adopting digital technologies, such as improved operational efficiency, reduced environmental impact, and enhanced customer experience, have the potential to transform organizational performance and contribute to long-term growth. We need to be careful about one thing. We should not focus only on the environmental aspect when we talk about this, because usually it's a logical trap or a logical mistake. But we need also to focus on different two pillars, apart from the environment, which is social and governance. However, to realize these benefits, organizations must overcome the challenges associated with digital integration, including financial investments, workforce reskilling, and potential job displacement. We heard some very interesting topics on this conference already about AI, artificial intelligence, etc. So we would see how this would also contribute to the overall story. So this was short as possible for my time, just to keep the pace with the timeline. Thank you, and we could now skip to the questions, or as our moderator, Professor Chalovich, said, we could do it later on.
Thank you, Professor Stojkovic. And we will continue. Our next participant is Professor Dan Paun, and the title of the paper is Many Facets of Football Sustained in Innovative Technology. Just to check if Professor is Dan Paun, yes? Hello. Okay, great.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Paun from Bucharest, Romania, Faculty of Physical Education and Sport, Spiru Haret University. First of all, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. I would like to present you a material about football and technology. As technology is omnipresent in any field of activity, obviously sports, football is not exception. In order to highlight the role of technology, I will try to present you a parallel between the past and the present, or without and with the technology applied in football. In the order, the first thing that everyone can notice refers to the safety condition for playing matches, the quality of the playing fields. In this sense, I present the following video from the then and now category. We have some trouble with... Okay. the training process, the football players are monitored using different system software that offer concrete information for certain physiological parameters, statistical data regarding the total distance traveled by each player, number of acceleration on deceleration, technical tactics data, practice statistical data on the activity during the preparation process, but also analysis on the match they participated. The great support of the technology comes in the area of official matches in which referees are assisted by the new VR technology, which FIFA support to make the most correct decisions possible, dispelling any doubt in the correctness of the artificial intelligence and machine learning have the potential to revolutionize football strategy by providing coaches and players with real-time insight and data-driven decision-making tools. However, it's important to note that artificial intelligence and machine learning are only tools, and human expertise and experience are still crucial in developing effective football strategy. Fun engagement, blockchain-based platform could create new ways for fun to engage with their favorite teams and players, such as virtual meet and greets and voting on team decisions. This could create a more direct and democratic relationship between fans and their football clubs. Football fantasy. Blockchain could be used to create decentralized fantasy football platform where fans can trade players and compete against each other in secure and transparent way. Football-based artificial intelligence refers to the use of artificial intelligence to assist in making predictions and decisions related to football betting. The goal of better or football bet artificial intelligence is to use data analysis and machine learning algorithms to generate accurate prediction and increase the chance of winning bet. Artificial intelligence algorithm can analyze large amount of historical data such as team performance, player statistics, and weather condition to identify patterns and trends. These algorithms can then use this data to make prediction about the outcome of football matches. In addition to prediction match outcome, artificial intelligence can also be used to optimize betting strategy. For example, artificial intelligence algorithm can analyze the odds offered by different bookmakers and identify opportunity for arbitrage, where a bettor can make a profit by betting on all possible outcome of a match. Digital billboards replacement, which the increasing use of digital billboards, a company can leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithm to create targeted ads based on real-time data such as weather conditions or traffic patterns. By using XR technology, these ads can be made more interactive and engaging, providing a better experience for viewers. Additionally, company can use these technologies in real time to improve their performance. Limitation, e-sport digital transformation in football. The sport industry continues to face rapid changes in many areas. Robotics, quantification of reality in the online environment. AR and VR for practicing sports in virtual environment, experimentation, sports, integrating the digital component as a key factor in sports and sports company. The future, the last slide. Is this the future? Are we crossing a border that take football to another era? I conclude with that.
Sorry, Professor. Sorry. We have some problem with internet. Professor, then can you hear me? Pardon? A zašto imamo prezentaciju? Yes, we have some internet problems.
Okay,
great.
I'm here.
Now we can hear you.
Sorry.
Great.
It's about technology. I show you a match in Champions League without technology. Wrong decision to the referee. Difficult decision. It's okay. Okay, and now let me show you others games with technology. Okay, assistance, offside, line assistance. Okay, and finally, I want to show you the future. Okay. About condition. No. Okay. No. Like a moment. Okay. Okay. Okay, sorry, it's about the technology, and I don't handle it with technology, this technology. Okay. Thank you very much.
Very much.
Okay.
So, okay, we will continue. Our next speaker is Professor Marko Ranković. The title of her paper is Artificial Intelligence in Finance Industry. I'm not sure if Professor Marko is with us. Not. Okay, we will continue. So, and our last presentation for this session is a text titled as Digital Transformation and Ethics, Navigating the Challenges and Opportunities in the Digital Age. Authors are Professor Valentin Kuletov, Professor Dušan Stojaković, Professor Šimsudin Plojović, and Professor Larisa Mihoreanu. So I suppose that Professor Dušan Stojaković will present us this paper. So,
yes, thank you, Dragan. I would share the slide now.
please. Great.
So I hope you see the slide now. So this is also one very important topic, and it goes perfectly with the previous paper that I presented you. So if anyone is motivated to do the third one, combining these all, it could be really a good support to the scientific and academic researchers. So I would shortly also present you one important topic about digital transformation and ethics, and about navigating the challenges and opportunities in the digital age. I think that this topic is logical, but let's see what we did with the topic. So, we dealt with digital transformation versus ethics, and digital transformation itself has become a central aspect of modern business in general, and companies increasingly rely on technology to improve efficacy, competitiveness, and productivity. So, organizations and companies are undergoing digital transformation. Ethical considerations arise, at the same time specifically related to data privacy, security, and the potential misuse of technology. Let me stop you for a moment and just ask you a question. Did you ever think of how telemedicine or digital medicine could look like if we didn't take into account the relationship between digital transformation and the ethics, and how would the patient information go around if there is not very high level of ethics integrated into this topic? I think that the answers are logical. So this article explores the ethical challenges faced by organizations during digital transformation and proposes potential solutions to ensure responsible and sustainable growth, which enables future development of both the industries and the process themselves. So we also have three pillars: understanding digital transformation as itself, like a journey in transformation, then ethics and preventing potential greenwashing. That was also one of the aspects that we were having in our minds, and the interconnection of these two, developing these two phenomena in coherent interconnection. So, as an introduction, I will just briefly give an overview of what we did. Case studies played a crucial role in understanding how organizations have navigated ethical concerns during their digital transformation and how they plan to proceed with this. These cases highlighted the experience of companies across different industries and providing examples of both successful and problematic or challenging digital transformation initiatives. And it was also important to understand the whole topic to include various industries and various fields of business operations. These real-world examples inform the recommendations and strategy discussed in this article. So the method was literature review, and it was conducted to identify key ethical concerns and best practices in digital transformation. Okay, so what was within our selection of literature review? First of all, academic articles, then industry reports, which is also important to to add to the academic articles and case studies, and they were reviewed to understand the ethical implications of digital transformation and explore potential solutions. And the analysis focused on three main areas: data privacy on the first place, then the second, security, and last but not least, the potential misuse of technology. And in the results, I would echo on all these three items or topics that I just stated out. So data privacy. As companies collect, process, and store vast amounts of personal and sensitive data, we could also come from the big data as well, concerns regarding data privacy have emerged. Data breaches and unauthorized access to data can result in severe consequences such as identity theft, financial loss, and reputational damage. And I think that all of us evidenced some of these happenings in our real professional business or even personal and private surroundings. Organizations must ensure that data privacy is an integral part of their digital transformation strategy by implementing strong data protection measures and by being transparent about their data usage policies. And I will reflect on this in the conclusion of this presentation. So the second one is security, which perfectly matched with the previous one that I mentioned. Digital transformation also brings about increased security risks as organizations and companies become more reliant on technology and interconnected systems. And I could also add to this, we should just be careful. How do we use artificial intelligence? But that's an open question for some to study. Cyber attacks such as ransomware can have devastating effects on business, leading to financial loss, operational disruption, and reputational harm. And even they could be done by the competition. To address security concerns, organizations must invest in robust cybersecurity measures and adopt best practices such as regular security audits and updates and upgrades, employee training, and risk assessments. Last but not least, potential misuse of technology. As technology continues to advance, the potential for misuse of technology also rises. Then we come to my favorite part. Artificial intelligence and machine learning can be utilized to manipulate user behavior or create deepfakes, which can lead to spread of misinformation and other harmful consequences. And even more important, it could lead to potential unintended greenwashing, which could also reflect to some severe consequences. To mitigate the potential misuse of technology, organizations should establish strong ethical guidelines, so it is all about governance in the companies, and governance structures that promote the responsible use of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So some processes are pretty good, digitalization and digital transformation, but we need to be careful how we implement them into the real life business operations. Following the discussion, or let's say the final thought I would like to share with you, I would stand for compliant digital transparency. It is a transparency, but it's driven by compliant environment that takes care about data privacy, but also enables security, but also enables the appropriate level of transparency. So organizations must take a proactive approach in this. So they need to address ethical concerns during digital transformation. This involves creating a culture of ethical responsibility and accountability. And it has to be embedded throughout the organization each and every day in all operations. It is not enough to make it in one department. It needs to be done across the whole business universe. Then digital transformation presents organizations with numerous opportunities for growth and innovation. And it also introduces ethical challenges related to data privacy, security, and the potential misuse of technology. By proactively addressing these concerns and investing in ethical practices, but it could be done in various and numerous ways, and it doesn't require huge investments, organizations can ensure responsible and sustainable growth in the digital era. So this was from my side. We could also go to some questions now, or as Professor Chalovic suggested, by the end of this or the other sessions. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Stojkovic. And in the meantime, Professor Marko Jankovic joined us. So I will kindly ask Professor Marko Rankovic to present us his paper titled as Artificial Intelligence in Finance Industry. So, Professor, please.
Thank you, Professor Celovic. Let me wish all participants good day, hello. I'm very thankful and grateful to have the opportunity to present the paper. I hope that the most asked questions over the last couple of years is that you can see me and you can hear me. Yeah? You can hear me and see me, colleagues.
We could do both. Yes, we hear you and see you.
Very good. Thank you. Presentation. I should share the presentation. The slides, yeah.
Yes. You can present.
Yes. Give me just a second. So, let me go through the paper, Leveraging Artificial Intelligence in the Finance Industry, Transformative Paradigm. What is very important in the consideration of artificial intelligence, we see over the last few years that applying artificial intelligence is really across the whole spectrum of our life. So in many areas, and of course, having said that, financial industry is not being spared. On the contrary, so financial industry is also embracing artificial intelligence and exploiting all opportunities and potentials which artificial intelligence is offering. And this is lasting for quite some time. I would say for years. If no a decade or so, but now we see significant acceleration. When we look at the finance industry, there are many areas of consideration such as risk management, trading, customer service, fraud detection, personalization of the financial services, of course, followed by technical part, which is increased efficiency, increased security, which leads in the end to the customer satisfaction. Apart from positive considerations, of course, financial industry identified some challenges in this respect. The main banking resource, to narrow it down to the banking industry as part of the biggest part of the financial industry, is trust. And trust is something where now we need to rely, well, in the beginning it was meant human established trust, and now we have a human versus machine trust. This is huge topic to be tackled. Then we have ethical considerations. Of course, when you're discussing with chatbot, for example, as for now, chatbot is not having feelings. And this is something which can definitely impact your relationship with the customer and also trust. And of course, we have regulatory challenges. Artificial intelligence brought us to the point that machine can extract information from almost indefinite number of sources, comprise it, and make a conclusion. This is something which we never faced before in this area. What we did in this paper, so we took various scholarly articles as part of methodology. We took industry reports, case studies for the finance, reviewed them, and saw how the artificial intelligence is then applied on those. Results from our small and brief research is that artificial intelligence will have not even evolutionary impact on financial industry, but rather it will be revolutionary. When we took landscape of the financial industry services, to start, for example, with risk management and something which is a first step when you are as customer, consumer, or corporate stepping into the financial system. Banks used to use predictive models. Using predictive models mean that I'm coming with some set of data or information of my characteristics, both personal, professional, expertise, demographics, and then based on this information, some model is predicting whether, for example, I will be able to return the loan which I'm taking from the bank. In this respect, AI is giving us opportunity, as said, to connect multiple sources, to come with a conclusion in seconds, but still without taking me coming to the bank, discussing potentially with the bank clerk, and removing this subjective or expert judgment, which is in the financial industry extremely important. So there are pros and cons. Yeah. Then when we look at the markets area or trading, trading is huge source of revenues for the financial institutions, especially in the periods of extreme volatility. And the extreme volatility period is something which happened in 2008 during the financial crisis, and is something which is happening over the last year and a half, extremely, and to a large extent, which started to happen with coronavirus. When it comes to the trading, the reliance was much on expert judgment of the traders, how and when to execute certain transactions in trading. Now we see, for example, that automated trading algorithms are executing transactions and able to catch, first of all, trends of the prices of certain assets, and then executed at micro milliseconds at superhuman speed and accuracy, and thus leveraging on the price volatility and taking into account all machine learned trends in this regards. Going further, we have, of course, chatbots, and chatbots are they found the main appliance and purpose is in personalized finance, personalized services in financial industry. Now, when you are discussing with bank clerk, actually you don't know whether it is chatbot or it is it a human. Yeah? And this is something which is let's say, from the ethical also point of view, needs to be tackled in the future. Of course, artificial intelligence is used now for years for the detection of fraud, identifying different sources and different channels in one financial system, and able to predict and to connect social engineering, social networking. If you are, I don't know, misusing the payments and then misusing the cards and misusing the for example, loan line, artificial intelligence is able to identify the pattern and point to this fact. What is the conclusion? As mentioned, so artificial intelligence definitely will have revolutionary impact on the finance industry. There are a lot of things and a lot of aspects to be considered. Its speed, it is unlimited access to the technical resources. It is virtually unlimited speed and deciding as superhumans. It is important also that the risks of subjective decision making in financial industries with the chatbots, at least for the time being, while artificial intelligence is not having any declared personality with feelings, will be excluded. Still, many challenges, and the three biggest challenges in this respect are, on the first place, trust in finance industry. Can be trust financial institution which is run potentially by artificial intelligence. Then ethical topics, apart from the mentioned ones, ethics is important in respect also to the financial industry employees. We will face the situation that many employees are obsolete. which will not be only problem for let's say for those guys, but it will be social issue. And the last one, but not least, is a regulatory framework in which artificial intelligence is let's say, having impact. Financial industry, especially banking, and me, who is coming from this industry, I don't know, for more than the last 20 years, it is heavy regulated. Heavy regulated means that there are very specific rules, and some of those rules are also subject to the decisions of the top management in those banks. Question is how we will address those issues. We said risk management, and when we are having prediction models, whether some guy or lady can have a loan. Very simple example. When there is a interest rate calculation, of course, it has its own methodology, and it is taking inputs when you are applying for the loan. And then at some point, me as a customer can complain and say to the national bank, well, bank did not calculate my loan rate properly. In those cases, usually national bank is taking an action and asking for the bank to provide methodology on how rate is calculated. We can face the situation that we are having interest loan rate calculated by AI based on indefinite number of variables, which definitely cannot be, and this is something where this robustness of AI in the future needs to be tackled. Definitely a lot of potential, lot of applications, lot of use cases, and as we speak, almost all contemporary financial institutions are using artificial intelligence in their business, and this application is increasing each and every day, each and every moment. Benefits are huge, cost reductions are huge. Still, there are many risks which we can face with further development and further appliance of artificial intelligence. That's all from me, colleagues. Thank you for your attention. Professor Čalović, back to you.
Thank you, Professor. And now I'm opening discussion. So if you have any questions or suggestions or some comments, please do not hesitate to share it with us. Do we have any? So, okay then. Okay, maybe later. So if we do not have any comments, I would like to thanks one more to our presenters. Također bih želeo da se zahvalim svim učesnicima koji su danas pratili online izlaganja, a posebno bih želeo da se zahvalim učenicima savremene gimnazije koji su pratili ovu sesiju. Danas doduše samo u svojstvu onih koji slušaju, ali sam siguran da kada bismo ih razgovarali sa njima, da bismo mnogo toga mogli da naučimo od njih o savremenim tehnologijama. Hvala svima još jednom i želim da vas pozovem na pauzu. Ako se ne varam, stiglo i posluženje, tako da ćemo kasnije nastaviti sa drugom sesijom. Hvala.